Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. It's been too many years since my last confession, and that's what I feel like I'm dealing with here. Because after seeing this, I need to do an act of contrition. I know it's a Catholic joke, but I woke up this morning to my PMs, my text messages, filled with the above art. Well, that art right there. Now, this is from the Dungeons and Dragons Wizards D&D Twitter/X feed, and it is entitled "The Life of a Showgirl." D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. But by the way, what does D&D stand for? Dungeons, Dragons. It does not stand for Showgirls. By the way, I guess her weapon is her shoe. She's holding it in her hand. Is she attacking the guy below her in that table? I don't know. There's another showgirl in the background. Um, God help me. This is literally a, a, a what the fuck moment. Because I saw this and I was like, what the fuck? Now, not trying to be sexist, but this woman has crazy eyes. Just saying, she's got that look of not quite stable, but maybe that's their impression of D&D players. And by the way, this wasn't the video I thought I was going to be doing today. I have one all lined up for Gen Con, and that's going to be a doozy. But this is, I don't know. I really don't know. So, what does this show? This shows, at the very least, whoever it is behind the D&D X account has no fucking clue what D&D is about. They don't play the game. They don't read the game. They don't read the associated fiction. They don't watch anything that could be vague. They just, my fantasy is being a showgirl. That's the art that I'll use. No, no. This is not selling to your customer base. It isn't. I don't know who it's selling to. Whoever's doing the marketing. And by the way, there will be a follow-up video to this. Just going through some of the atrocious messes that they've left in their social media. This is the one that has everybody talking. Because there's nothing D&D about this. And I know I joked about the Mexican American orcs out falconing and hunting, and I joked about the the dwarves having a bakery/smithy with a cat wandering around, and, and people are gonna go, dude, it's fantasy. It's okay. It's whose fantasy is this? Because if this is the fantasy of D&D players, then D&D isn't the game not only that I grew up on, it isn't the game that it was in 2014. And I want you to, I'm going to do an experiment. Some of the videos are lining up for this, where if you look at the art from the 2024 release of D&D, and you look at the art of 2014 D&D, they are, art-wise, two completely different tones. D&D 2014 is about adventuring. It's about overcoming obstacles. It's about, killing shit and taking their stuff. And 2024 It's social experiments. I don't even know. It is such a juxtaposition between the two. I I am seriously left speechless, and I mourn because I mourn the death of D&D. Yes, I'm an OSR gamer. What is OSR? It's classic D&D, right? The IP, the name D&D, holds a lot of weight for me and most other old school gamers. And we want to see the IP succeed. I had high hopes for the D&D movie. It wasn't bad. Wasn't as good as it could have been, but it wasn't bad. I didn't like D&D 2014, not because it was necessarily a bad game, not because it strayed too far from its roots, but because for me, it had too many roles. That's the way. That's one direction to take the game. I understand that. It just wasn't a good fit for me. But D&D 2024 doesn't just say, hey, we're going to change the rules. They're saying we're going to change the fluff, the depictions, the way you're supposed to be playing it. So I'm supposed to be playing this with the showgirl on my part. Is there a showgirl character class? Maybe somebody at WotC can tell me. Is there a showgirl character class? Because wouldn't that be sexist? And let's just address that, right? Wouldn't this be regarded sexist? If this was artwork that appeared, it wouldn't be in color, in black and white, some variation of this, in AD&D 1E, that person on the screen would have been considered a harlot, and we'd still be hearing about it 50 years later. But I wish we could edit the original books to remove offensive content. Yet this is the offensive content that they put up on social media. This is their marketing. And yes, there's a level of success because they are trolling their own community. And they are going, let's see. This one up on the 13th, that is yesterday. It's got 120, almost 125,000 views. Okay. That's good eyes on. But when your comments are, what does this have to do with D&D? Trolling at this point. Well played. Mm-hmm. Jesus wept. What is this crud? Why can't they launch a second RPG title, pull all your ridiculous shit there, and let D&D be D&D? Because, well, maybe, you have lost the plot. The Dungeon Delver. This is my favorite piece of artwork, by the way, from 1E D&D. Paladin in Hell. I love that piece. It is classic. Emerald, another classic. But no, this is what they think D&D is. And maybe their new vice president of franchise will look at this and go, holy shit. What are we doing? What are we doing? Let's stop shooting ourselves in the foot. But I don't know if they can do that. I think they are too committed, or should be committed, to whatever. There's somebody here, the agenda seems to be to actually kill the IP. And they're well on the way to doing it. Now, maybe it's to kill the IP so they can cycle it back in 10 years, but for an IP that was going to be $1 billion property, to go from $1 billion property to, my understanding is that WotC was kind of doing like an apology tour at Gen Con. What can we do to bring folks back? Kind of a tacit recognition that 2024 did not quite hit the levels it was supposed to. Wow, gee, the VTT that never was. This is D&D 2024, folks. This is D&D 2024, the life of a showgirl. No depth, no story, simply flash and in the moment. And Jesus wept. And this gamer looks at an IP that he grew up with and wonders if it's time to just let it go. And when I say let it go, I'm not saying let it go to, you know, the next generation, because the next generation is not playing this. What I'm saying is let it go. Move on, the Rainbow Bridge. Because they can only harm the hobby with crap like this. And that's the sad truth. But folks, tell me what you think. I will leave a link to the Twitter feed because you should be amused on your own. You don't need me. If you aren't already a member, there's a QR code in the upper, way on the other side there, just past your Showgirl, where you can join for as little as $1.99 a month. We'd certainly appreciate the support. Other than that, there's a live stream tonight, 8 p.m. on this very channel, and tomorrow at 1 p.m. Monkey Blood, Glenn Seal will be our special guest tomorrow. So, as always, this is giving me indigestion. Be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice. Roll them well. I'll hopefully see most of you tonight. God bless.